Hello everybody, here's a French Bull. Hope you are all doing great today. And I'm going to do a bit of an update on the Bitcoin chart. There is some important data point I think that was noting here. We had some strength on a weekly close and on multiple indicators, in fact. So here, starting with the monthly, we still have a week before closing the month, but we so far found support on the 50 moving average. We are above the 21, so pretty much a good sign if we can close above the 21, which then become our trend support on the high time frame. But more importantly, on the weekly, so we're gonna take out the 50 and the 9 here. We did close above our 200 simple moving average, so we are above the EMA and symbol 1, which is again pretty damn good indicator, right? We are seeing a slight pickup in volume here as well as we are going up on Coinbase at least, so it's nice as well. We did claim our bullish cross here. It doesn't matter. We stayed at into the bullish control territory in terms of RSI, staying above the 43 level. And last week we did breach our trendline resistance on RSI and close significantly above. So again, another sign of strength. The 3-day we are seeing something that could look like acceleration, right? Locally here we have just some kind of 3 sold higher pattern, if you can call it. I don't really have the biggest volume on the last 3 days, because there was a big wake here. But if you take out the Monday fake news volatility, you probably have more linear increase in terms of volume here, I guess. And you can see how it seems to be increasing as well. So yeah, we still are at the very important resistance right now. Yes, we still are below 32k. We didn't breach our yearly high from July, which remain the invalidation for the bear case. But when we see sign of strength, we can be aware of them, right? So yeah, here on the aggregated chart, we can see a quite nice increasing volume here from the low and acceleration. So yeah, looking pretty good again. And so yeah, we still have resistance, right? If we look at the weekly close, so yeah, nice weekly close, we still close below our little order block or weekly level from the top, right? Now we are moving above it. Should we see the week, should we see a rejection basically below 32k and close back below here, and even worse, below 28 basically, that will make this a very compelling bull trap, and then it can send us to the next important level of support, of course. But that's it. Yeah, we are claiming this resistance. We are grinding up into low selling pressure, right? So buying pressure is slightly increasing. And for now, Solera have not been able to keep things down at all, right? But got a lot of them got kicked out on the Monday fake news, basically. Yeah, well, so of course, things will be even clearer if we can claim that level, maybe have a bit of consolidation here. We'll see, do we have a retrace, or I think if we start to claim this, we might just have side consolidation, maybe a bit of volatility here, but yeah, it won't be looking like we're just going to go up at this point. And I was making a comparison yesterday. I just think about that because there's a few events, if I can call them like this here, that really remind me of the last cycle. And what did really hit me here was this event, you know, the last kind of bat we had during June, August, during the summer here. It really reminded me of what happened previous cycle. Just yeah, the last big corrective move before we went aggressively up, and followed by quite a bit of a grind up into rather low volume at first, until we saw acceleration, and a lot of similarities in that. So in fact, went back and think about all of that, we have a very similar terminal checkout here at the low, right? After, you know, a big dump here on the FTX news here. I don't remember if that was in particular news, but whatever. A tight, aggressive accumulation structure with just higher lows. And we start to mark up into our first impulsive move up, right? And we had quite the same thing here, you know, aggressive move down, tight accumulation structure, and aggressive rise into our first impulse. Then we have a longer correction here during 2019-20 that ended with the COVID thing, right? So sort of a black swan event, which is here a lot quicker, obviously. And you know, should we reject here, would be inclined to think, yeah, we're still into the red zone then. But you know, not sure if that's really a black swan event, but that was really a significant move down, led by the banking crisis here, which have been followed by very similar upside move. And that's what kind of triggered me into feeling that, yeah, maybe this, even if the time do not fit the same here, the characteristic of the move have some similarities. So less with the red corrective here, but still an aggressive last move down, followed by a very aggressive rise back up with very little correction on the move up here, right? Until we go into some stabilization, the tight volatile environment here, which was here a triangle wave 4, followed by one last move up into some kind of bat, but printing a higher low, and keeping all of this liquidity intact here in the move up. And so we have the same kind of move here again, and rising into low volume. In fact, if you know, I wanted to looking at the volume a bit more closely. This stuff move, or maybe I need to put 3 day here for that because it's longer. So you know, we have our capitulation volume going into a normal supply, really almost no volume. Then we rise, we have a bit of increasing volume into the impulse, nice. Then we have our corrective moves that go into basically a bit of distribution here and volume dying off once again. We had this kind of not fake news, but China crypto related news event here. Ignore that bit. But then again, capitulation event where volume picks up again at the low and rise into low liquidity in the sell side here. Pretty aggressively again till we find a bit of a top here, consolidation, volume draw down into the consolidation as there is no more supply and demand is slowing down. Then we have a bit of spike of volume going into, we could call a bit of a bull trap, and a spike of volume again on the bar down here, followed by, well, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna zoom in a bit here. But yeah, followed by really volume slowing down here during this slower pricing phase after the capitulation. And we really have a very similar volume signature here again. Same thing. Capitulation, volume, then normal supply, volume dying off, and we see a bit of a pickup in volume as we rise into our market structure change and change of character here. Then we have a bit of consolidation, volume dying off once again until we find, well, capitulation during the banking crisis and a bit more aggressive buying here, a bit more volume. That was a lot quicker, so yeah. Showing kind of nice organic demand here again, you know, because you have more volume coming in here on the upside, move down, and in the capitulation. And it's going along the narrative because, well, this move down is led by a banking crisis, and Bitcoin have a narrative to be an edge against that. Then we have volume slowing down, some spiking here and there. There's a few events, regulatory event, some market makers at closure, stuff like this. So, you know, there is a bit more volatility here, but overall, compared to what have been followed, we have a longer period of consolidation into dying volume overall until we find a bit of a slightly increase here at the low. Then again, bar up, spike of volume, bar down, spike of volume. A lot more visible on the derivative exchange, of course, because this is a long squeeze rather than anything else. And then again, the volumes stay relatively low liquidity on both sides, so on the sell side and on the buy side as well. And start to see a spike of volume on last Monday. Now, for now, we have lowering volume. Question is, should we see spot starting to pick up here and break resistance? Will volume follow? Which I think is likely. So it's gonna be the 5th time I say that during that video, but I think it's an important fact. To claim that 32K, I think it's very likely that demand will kick in again. Psychological level, whatever, it's an important market structural level. And it's probable that it's gonna wake up some people here and there saying, oh, Bitcoin is moving, is keeping its bullish structure, it's nice, I'm gonna join the party, and yeah. Maybe that's what's gonna happen. So all of that said, you know, I said last few video updates, especially Friday, I say, yeah, staying on a at least short edge here makes sense to me. So I consider a few scalp short here, but nothing really great at that point. But as we are closer to our bearish invalidation than to our bullish invalidation, so it's a lot easier to talk about a short setup than a long setup here in a swings perspective. And it's a lot more sensible, of course, to be opening swing short here than necessarily swing long, at least with such invalidation. So yeah, that's remain a valid short. At least to hedge your spot exposure, you may have non-financial advice, but for me, at least. But yeah, we do have bullish counts as well. Let me come back on the higher time frame here from minutes. If we follow the same the count ID here based on the fractal Wyckoff analysis, the idea is to have a wave 1 into a 2 into the first correction here, and then a sub 1 2. So we already know we have a valid flat here, so the one going to be a bit different, the smaller one. But following this idea, well, I did that in my potential bullish count here, basically. So just a 1-2-1-2, meaning we will be entering into the third wave of the third. Final target to be determined depending how things happen here, should we indeed start to claim resistances. And yeah, depending on the strength spread of what happened here. Potentially it's legit to look for the liquidity above 49k here. So we have the 261.8 extension target potentially for that third. I mean, it can go higher, And for now, I'll let that Fib extension tool on linear mode. It's a bit more precise for the upside, but things get crazy, we'll have to change the tool into log mode instead. Alternative count gonna be this as a 1, we keep this as a flat, figure 1 2. It's a bit cleaner in my opinion. I kind of prefer that. Well, we'll see in due time. We'll just keep a few ID in mind, and of course, if we do find resistance below 32k, we still have ABC into 1 2 before going into the third. I want to mention something here that you may already be aware of, but one of the particularity of the third wave is that it's a wave where most of the market is in agreement or the direction of the asset. It's where most people are drawing the cycle. That's where you get the most volume, and that's also where, well, it's easy to make money because you just have to long, right? And you can even long break out, and it often work, and that's where everybody can seem to be smart, right? And why do I emphasize on that is because, usually we want to counter trade the crowd and maybe look at either sentiment statistic, or even on your own Twitter feed or whatever. But that's the moment here where, yeah, everybody might be right, or everybody, the majority might be right. That's what happened during the third wave. You know, that's where it's complicated to wage or sentiment analysis, maybe into trading. I wanted to mention that a bit. Yeah, bearish count was valid until 32k is taken, but we'll see. Now the question is, whatever the count is, if it is one of the bullish one, well, how do we count that? Well, there's still a few possibilities here. That will may be able to reduce depending the strength of the move up, or when do we have a consolidation or correction, and how deep it is, and will reduce the possibilities we have. But we do have a few. Well, that is still kind of valid. Let's say preparate. So we might be into a third wave here. We might count something completing here as well. The third wave. One that I like a bit more here, well, is the idea to have a 1-2, 1-2, we're in a 3, we might see a correction into wave 4 here, going into a fifth of the higher degree third. Alright, we claim our resistance, it's a bit of consolidation with a 1-2, and we might stay a bit into a consolidation after we claim 32k. That's pretty much what that means. In theory, as we might be finishing a 1 here, it's possible we have a deeper correction and continue up, you know, some kind of long liquidation event. There is too much FOMO here. As you know, when we look at previous cycle, when Bitcoin starts to move, we tend to have upside consolidation and just move up aggressively, often than not, and print higher lows, basically. Well, that's why I'm suggesting maybe a wave 2 here. In fact, targets are not placed here for now. It's the idea that, yeah, Bitcoin tend to rather do extension like this. 1-2, 1-2, potentially another 1-2 here. And I'm looking at a shallow retrace here, you know, 382. What got my interest? It's mostly that 29k level. That's where we have anchor VWAP. If you take it from the lower time frame, from the high here, with the support, might even be anchor VWAP from here. The side. Yeah. But we have this forward block. We have a bit of liquidity here, which would be nice to take. By the way, here I'm looking at the 4 hour. You know, we still have 4 hour bearish diff. I'm saying still. We have so since basically the high from Friday. You know, we have overbought condition on the 4 hours. That's what could lead to a bit of a drawdown here locally. Now this is as well as much some kind of sign of strength here, the fact that we print for a bear div, have a bit of a confirmation. well, immediately turn into a hidden bullish G, as it always does, but it doesn't produce any kind of move down. I mean, any kind. There's a bit of move down, but from the swing that started to print that bear div to the one that confirmed it, we kept a higher low here and we continue up. So for a bear div into overbought territories, that doesn't work. That's rarely happening during a bear market. Unless it is really the last bull trap before bear sell, but yeah. Otherwise, statistically, it's more something that happen rather during a bullish market. So we'll see. Volume is not picking up yet. This Monday we're not seeing so much pickup of volume, slightly, well, since the weekend, but that's it. So we do have bear div 4 hour probably on but on other time frame. Not even. We have overbought condition here on the daily, so maybe a bit of consolidation before we breach 32k if we are going to do so, and have RSI slowing down a bit. Now we don't have to reach oversold territory. If it does, it's going to be if it does reach oversold with a bull div on the 4 hours, that's going to be a prime long, especially if it is in confluence with a nice support level like this. But it might just stay at the 50%. Yeah, so yeah, pretty much that. We have important support around 29k. Now, next important support is gonna be 28k. But for bullish case, we rather see higher low structures and starting to really reverse all of that. Otherwise, well, the bullish closure we had on the high time frame on that move become a lot less relevant, right? But that's that support. So if we have, for example, just a long liquidation and a very quick backup, that's gonna stay valid as a 1-2. The idea is to have a 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle and a 5th here as a 1. I'm working with what I have. This kind of week is not easy to count. So it might be something else. If it is just unclean with, maybe we have a sub 1-2 here and we are already going to accelerate up. It's a possibility. But yeah, I'm rather looking at what I can count. Now, yeah, I didn't really project here for now, but the idea is if we're in a 1-2, 1-2, and a sub 1-2, maybe we print another 1-2. Well, at some point we're entering into the third of the third of the third, and the target is going to be really high, and well, we'll see where it is. We'll just not be shouting into a squeeze up, obviously. But yeah, another 1-2. What I mean is, we have really 1-2 here, and might be one and have another consolidation after we claim resistance, and then we start the parabolic move rate. Would be the idea. Also, just to look at other bullish data, we are seeing that we're claiming. We have been claiming our open interest resistance from range low here, have been very well correlated with significant swing top. And well, now we are consolidating above, so there is new volume starting to come in here. but CVD is yet to show a bit more strength, of course, as we saw on the volume. But still, yeah, we have this, so we have pressure, we have short that are underwater and might just let go at some point and cause a real big short squeeze. At the same time, well, we can see as well why this 90k level is important. 19,200. Well, that's where we started to build the open interest above the range that we had previously. And so, well, if we start to get below this, well, then we have this new open interest now trap. Sorry, I'm losing my voice today. So yeah, just another data emphasizing the importance of that level for me, and why as well might be a bit of a liquidity hunt here. And if we do bridge these lows, you know, we lose a bit of the lower time frame, higher low structures, so probably be stop losses below these lows. So again, with all of the open interest open today, but has open at the top, you know, if you're just not really thinking through and you're FOMOing into a new position at the high, you might probably have your stop losses below this, or even looking for a leverage position with liquidation at these levels. Okay, so that's wrap up pretty much all I have to say. Quick look maybe at stocks. I was saying this morning to the crew, I think we are that count. You know, I'm still evolving into looking at the mid-time frame count in stocks, but whatever. We did made an important move, which is breaching October low, printing rather bearish outlook. Now, as we take a significant low, there's liquidity, we see a rise. I think it's gonna be just a fourth wave. Now, if we start to claim, well, basically POC here, 50%, especially, so, you know, we have a bit of liquidity here above 42.80 on that index. So it's not really the ES, but a derivative of it. Yeah, around that level, start to claim this. Well, maybe we continue up higher, but as we are right now, again, I'm expecting rejection basically between 42.50 and 4300. To another leg down, which potentially going to be just the first wave one, and we might have again another bounce before continuing down. But as I have said in the past, for me it was a very important level to hold for higher low, for a bullish, potentially mid-term bullish outlook here, because we have a wave down, we have a corrective move, we have a second wave down, corrective move, and now we have a third wave down, which is printing rather an impulsive move. Either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as we have overlapping it. Not the most correct one. Or yeah, rather 1, 2, a sub 1, 2, and a sub 1, 2 here, which could mean acceleration and capitulation there. Still need to lose this level to see a very real capitulation. Maybe we have a weird A, B, C like this, with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But yeah, for me it doesn't really look good, to say the least. Now, short term, we can see some consolidation. And validation will remain swing high. For now, we have a bearish market structure since July high. So that's where things start to turn around, is if we claim 44 and right here. And meanwhile, gold have been printing strengths, which, you know, not necessarily surprising. We printed an impulse, we had a corrective move. I'm trying to beat the idle target, but overall it's a 1-1 extension. If we take leg down, correction like down here, and now we have what's look like an obvious impulsive move up, and we have volume coming in, we have capitulation, volume at the low, and we have volume kicking in. We might be entering into consolidation in the rather near term, because, well, at some point we're gonna have to print some sort of 1-2, right? I'm not gonna necessarily bait a short anywhere on that. You know, we're at resistance, we took some liquidity, so maybe here. Why I'm talking about gold is because, well, gold having a strength here into a geopolitical environment that is rather unclear, unsure, bringing uncertainty to the market. We are saying rather weakness on stock, rather strength on gold, and in between there is Bitcoin that might be about to print a lot more strength. And, you know, we have been looking at correlation between Bitcoin and stock market. Always said, yeah, okay, it can be useful on the shorter term. Might be helpful to find some day trade, confluence, etc. But don't be married to the correlation between Bitcoin and stock, because at some point Bitcoin will just decorrelate from stock and correlate to whatever it wants. It might be called, might even be correlated to DXY, or just go into its own path. And at that point, I would rather see correlation with gold, at least on the fundamentals, as a fly to safety, a fly to hard asset. That can be gold and Bitcoin. Speculative one for Bitcoin, of course, but still. So yeah, that's wrap up today update. Hope you appreciate. Don't forget to leave a like, please, if you appreciate it, and even share it and whatever. And yeah, have a good week, good rest of the day, and good week. See you very soon. Bye bye.